All right, the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, has a lot of explaining to do. After 18 months of work, his report was released last Thursday, and it shows the huge, massive missteps, corruption, mistakes surrounding the FBI and the Department of Justice during the so-called Clinton investigation, including example after example, how the fix was in from the get-go to help Hillary Clinton and literally destroy then-candidate Donald Trump. However, the IG did not make prosecutorial conclusions about the obvious felonies that Hillary committed and was totally and unjustly exonerated from. Now, the facts are actually, as we have been telling you from the get-go, and they are irrefutable. Mishandling classified top-secret information on a private server, obstructing justice, deleting 33,000 subpoenaed emails, acid washing the hard drive with BleachBit, and having aides destroy evidence devices with a hammer. Oh, and removing SIM cards. Any other American, all of you out there, would have been locked up, thrown in prison for exactly what Hillary Clinton did. Now, still, the IG report did not fault the FBI's decision to clear Clinton of all charges. What they really decided is, quote, not to second-guess the conclusions, while they, in fact, presented what is now a mountain of evidence proving the guilt. And sadly, the swamp protects the swamp. It is now clear if Hillary Rodham Clinton had a real investigation, she would have been indicted. Now, politics at the highest level of the FBI sadly prevented all of that. Let's, for example, break things down and these findings down and see if any reasonable person would ever make the conclusion that political bias did not play a major role inside the FBI. Let's look at this text. August 8th, 2016, high-ranking FBI attorney Lisa Page and her colleague, boyfriend Peter Strzok, who was the lead investigator in the Clinton case. Now, Lisa Page, she writes, Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Strzok responds, quote, no, he's not. We will stop it. And then Lisa Page called Trump an enormous, well, expletive. Add to that the list of insults both Page and Strzok lobbed against Donald Trump. He's an idiot, he's a menace, he's a lonesome human being, and so much more. Remember, all of this is from the lead investigator and the lead FBI attorney. But the bias didn't stop with them. Look at this message from yet another high-ranking agent on this case. Trump's supporters are all poor to middle class, uneducated, lazy POSs that think that he will magically grant them jobs for doing nothing. And 4 months before the election, one agent who actually interviewed Hillary Clinton called her the president in a message to a colleague and said, quote, Trump can't win. And then on October 28, 2016, shortly after Comey announced that he would be reopening the Clinton investigation, well, another unnamed FBI attorney sent an instant message to a fellow FBI employee, and that read, I'm clinging to small pockets of happiness in the dark times of the Republic's destruction. And following Trump's election victory, that same FBI attorney sent an instant message, and that read, quote, I am numb, with a fellow employee responding, I can't stop crying. And get this, according to the IG report, quote, agents involved in the Clinton Foundation investigation were instructed to take no overt investigative steps prior to the election. Would you get that treatment? Now, this, of course, as the report found that the FBI was actually intimidated by Clinton's high-ranking legal team. And the report also found that high-ranking DOJ officials tried to get a job for his son in the Clinton campaign, all while sharing, leaking case information about the ongoing server investigation to Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. It's unbelievable. And by the way, believe it or not, there's so much more. Listen to what Senator Lindsey Graham laid out at today's hearing. He was on fire. Take a look.
Now, this was an email sent in February 2016 from Page to McCabe. Hey, you've surely already considered this, but in my view, our best reason to hold the line at 2 and 2, 2 agents and 2 prosecutors, is she might be our next president. How did you feel about that?
We were concerned about it, and we lay out here why we were concerned.
Okay, let's keep talking about this interview. One of the FBI agents in the interview said on Election Day to another FBI agent, you should know that I'm with her. Now, her was Clinton, right?
Correct.
How do you feel about that?
Very concerned.
Okay, eventually very concerned gets to be enough already. I'm glad you found what you found, Mr. Horowitz. I'm not buying that the Clinton email investigation was on the up and up.
I'm not buying it either. Still think political bias didn't play a role in the FBI's decisions? Now, don't forget, at the center of all of this is FBI Trump-hating agent Peter Strzok. Now, he's now being subpoenaed by the House Judiciary Committee in order to better determine why the FBI and the DOJ withheld many of his anti-Trump texts. We still haven't gotten them all. Remember, he was the lead FBI agent in the Hillary Clinton investigation. He's the one that vowed to stop a Trump presidency in a text with his girlfriend, Lisa Page. And according to the IG report, Page was a high-ranking FBI attorney who was used by Andrew McCabe. Yeah, that Andrew McCabe, of course, to bypass the FBI's chain of command, and he got to monitor the Clinton investigation. We have long reported about McCabe's Democratic bias. Now, next, we knew that Peter Strzok, Andrew Weissmann, Jeannie Ray, those names sound familiar? And so many of all these anti-Trump Democratic donors all tapped the same people to finish the exoneration of Hillary and put the fix in, and then tapped by Robert Mueller for his Trump-Russia witch hunt. Now, in fact, many of those same agents that cleared Hillary, they were then immediately appointed to investigate Trump. Now, the very agents just spewing hatred about Trump, vowing to stop his presidency, mocking Trump supporters, the same people tapped to investigate Trump, a move even questioned by the Inspector General, which means that the entire Russia investigation from the get-go was as corrupt as the Hillary cover-up, and it was the case from day one. Now, there's a very definition itself right there of what I've been saying, a two-tiered justice system, no equal justice under the law or equal application of our laws. Now, if true justice had prevailed, if Hillary Clinton got indicted as she should have in the fall of 2016, the electoral process would have been turned on its head. The deep state's choice for president would be out of the race. Trump would actually be the president without any of this Mueller garbage that he's had to deal with almost his entire presidency. And that's why Hillary Clinton, she got the white glove treatment by these investigators, openly rooting for her to win the election. President Trump, everyone associated with him, they got the sledgehammer thrown down by the very same people that gave Hillary a pass. And tonight we're also learning James Comey is under investigation for mishandling classified information. Remember, he intentionally leaked his personal notes about conversations he had with the president. That's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. In order to set the ball rolling for the anti-Trump special counsel, his buddy, Robert Mueller, to begin his investigation or witch hunt. And the IG also found, as FBI Director Comey was insubordinate and totally mishandled the Clinton investigation. Now, legal scholar Jonathan Turley, a Democrat, he's now saying these findings in the IG report exonerate Trump from any obstruction of justice charges, which means it should all end, and end now. Take a look.
To me, the obstruction claim involving Comey was always difficult, but after the IG, it's become virtually incomprehensible because the IG said that Comey was insubordinate, that he deviated from policies, he violated FBI policies. All those are a good reason to fire James Comey. And so the problem that's going to come up for the critics of President Trump is that this dog just won't hunt when you've got both the IG and the Deputy Attorney General saying he deserved to be fired. You can't assume everything against him. There's another interesting aspect here. If Mueller was really going after obstruction based on Comey, then Rosenstein would have to recuse himself. Rosenstein said that if Mueller told him that he was a witness, he would remove himself. He hasn't done that, which makes me think it's one of two things. Either Mueller's ignoring conflicts of interest, or he's not seriously pursuing that angle.
Now, meanwhile, President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, is calling for an investigation into the investigators, something we have been discussing for a long time. Take a look.
He was one of 5 individuals outlined in this IG report as potentially facing disciplinary action. Are you calling for something sharper than that?
Oh, yeah, you're darn right. Disciplinary action when he's making comments like that, not part of the probe. He started it. He was with it for its first couple of months. Mueller kept him on. So how much did he infect that probe with his own very, very extreme positions? I don't know, but I sure want to find out before I go forward. I mean, this is a case where it's crying out for someone to investigate the investigators.
Absolutely. And even deep state sycophant turned CNN fake news pundit Jim Clapper, he's now ready for Mueller to wrap all this up. Frankly, he likely knows that he and Brennan will eventually be exposed. Take a look.
I think the overarching point here is that this whole issue has got to come to resolution. At some point, Special Counsel Mueller and his team, I hope, will wrap up the investigation and clear the air one way or the other whether or not there was a collusion with the Russians. This is a cloud that's hanging over the country and certainly hanging over this presidency, and I do hope that happens.
Oh, change of heart? Now, we're going to have a lot more on Mueller and the IG report in just a moment. First, let's turn to a story that is causing a 5-alarm fire in the halls of the mainstream Destroy Trump media surrounding reports that the children of illegal immigrants are being separated from their parents upon entering the country illegally. Look, let's start and be very clear. Nobody wants children who are safely in the custody of their parents separated. Nobody wants that. But truth matters and facts matter. Earlier today, DHS Secretary Kristen Nielsen responded to these claims. She set the record straight with important information that the media is all too happy, as usual, to ignore. Take a look.
So let's just start with a few numbers and facts. So in the last 3 months, we have seen illegal immigration on our southern border exceed 50,000 people each month, multiples over each month last year. Since this time last year, there has been a 325% increase in unaccompanied alien children and a 435% increase in family units entering the country illegally. Over the last 10 years, there has been a 1,700% increase in asylum claims, resulting in asylum backlog today in our country of 600,000 cases. Since 2013, the United States has admitted more than 500,000 illegal immigrant minors and family units from Central America, most of whom today are at large in the United States. At the same time, large criminal organizations such as MS-13 have violated our borders and gained a deadly foothold within the United States. This entire crisis, just to be clear, is not new. It's been occurring and expanded over many decades. But currently, it is the exclusive product of loopholes in our federal immigration laws that prevent illegal immigrant minors and family members from being detained and removed to their home countries.
Then Secretary Nielsen went on to explain why, in some rare cases, the children of illegal immigrants are separated from their parents. Here's what she said.
DHS does have a responsibility to protect minors, and in that case as well, we will only separate the family if we cannot determine there is a familiar relationship, if the child may be at risk with the parent or legal guardian, or if the parent or legal guardian is referred for prosecution.
And Nielsen also made an important comparison to how the government treats our own citizens. Oh, important. Take a watch.
Let's be clear, if an American were to commit a crime anywhere in the United States, they would go to jail and they would be separated from their family. This is not a controversial idea.
And finally, Secretary Nielsen reminded everyone in the media that this is nothing new and took place in previous administrations. Yeah, facts matter. Take a look.
The last administration, the Obama administration, the Bush administration, all separated families at the, they absolutely did. They did, their rate was less than ours. But they absolutely did do this. This is not new.
Minors, there's no doubt about that. But
they separated families.
A very important point. Remember the photo showing immigrant children in cages? Some of the media first attributed that picture to the Trump administration. And it actually occurred, of course, during the Obama administration. In fact, the Obama administration, not the Trump administration, they're the ones that started a policy of actually detaining minors younger than 18 for months. But the media, of course, didn't report, barely yawned. In fact, one Democrat actually did admit that Obama was able to somehow keep his actions at the border very quiet. Wonder why?
So under the Obama administration, there was, according to the Washington Post reporting, a surging number of unaccompanied minors being apprehended at the border. In 2014, there were nearly 70,000, according to the Post reporting.
In many ways, and I think I don't know what image you're using, but I released some of those photos because it was kept very quiet under the Obama administration. There were large numbers of people coming in. The Obama administration was trying to keep this quiet.
Of course, no outrage from the media over Obama, but with Trump, it's a totally different story. And of course, there's another factor here. They want a distraction from all the lies they have been peddling to you for the last 18 months. And as I said earlier, no one likes the idea of separating any child from any parent. But this issue has been in the hands of Congress. And right now, the whole issue can be fixed. Every law can be changed. And if they did their job, it would happen. It is the law. Democrats, of course, prefer to make it a political issue. They want to win in 2018. They want their power back. Now, those on the left only want open borders, which means this issue probably is not going away. They need to come to the table, agree to a serious immigration reform, including the construction of the wall. They already had the president concede on DACA, but they prefer to demagogue rather than fix the issue. Sad reality.